It's also an expensive piece of granite,
That's what I was thinking, yeah,
because it's really 2 slabs.
you would have to.
We've
But
got-
I mean, technically, this space here is kind of wasted,
Yep.
unless you put chairs out, most people probably wouldn't.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good
Good seeing you.
Nice to see you.
John.
One
Roger.
was
Roger. That's it. My dad and my brother's name. Why didn't I remember?
With that there, there's no electric to it, that's kind of weird.
Does the rest of the house more normal or got more surprises?
Oh yeah, the rest of the house is more normal. Well, we're gonna kick it off, folks, here in just a minute, so if you would just wander back up this way. We're getting ready to kick it off. How you doing, man?
I'm all right. No complaints.
You doing good?
I'm not closing that Goodman house today, so.
Cool.
The house Friday.
Cool. So did John Aosair take care of you?
Yeah, we ended up replacing the unit.
Morning,
It took
Al.
him a few days to get out there, but
Yeah.
he's just backlogged right now.
Like every AC company.
Well, 100-degree day today, so they say.
Yeah. I don't doubt it, it's been close to that the last several days. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Holler. I didn't wait in the back there.
She's on the phone.
She's what?
On the phone.
Oh.
You like those ice drinks too?
That more my wife does, and I
Yeah.
just grabbed it quick to get out of the road,
Yeah.
so. Man, what's your name?
Lizelle.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You recognize it?
Well, welcome. So, this is our second property walkthrough that we've done. This is something that I want to start doing more of, and this is something for you as members of the group to keep in mind if you want to offer it up for one of these evolutions like this. It's a good training evolution. Yeah, you know, I think I would be lying to you if I said that I was doing this, but I would never sell it to somebody if they wanted it, right? But I don't, that's not my intent. I intend to either rehab or rent the house. If somebody wants to buy it, great. So what I wanted to do though was use it for training. The last one we did was my Meadowbrook house, and we had 20-some people at that event, and I had so many great comments. Everybody just had a chance to walk through, ask questions, see the condition of the home. It was a much worse home than this, but this has some valuable learning topics here. And as you get around and start walking around and looking at the property, you're going to see some things, and you're going to go, I wonder about that. What should we do? So the whole thing is designed for us to talk about and educate and answer questions when you get a house and you go through and walk through it and wonder, should I rent it? Should I rehab it? How much rehab should I do? You know, is this a problem? Things like that. So I want to start off by giving you just a few minutes, maybe take 5 minutes, walk through the house, take a look at things, take any pictures of anything you want, and let's come back here and let's talk about those and try and answer your questions. I'd like to do that as a group instead of just one-on-one answering the questions. I'd like to do it as a group, and then that way everybody can learn. So, any questions before we get going? Okay, have at it.
Do you know why this is raised up here? Is it for plumbing to this kitchen?
This is concrete, I believe. Yeah, I mean, a lot of homes
This is just a
have
section,
this
yeah.
step up. So I don't know. It does create a bit of a problem on flooring options. You know, you can't, I've been told that if you're trying to do wood laminate, that's a big problem because of the trim here and the fact that it curves. They don't make a rubber corner piece if you want wanted to laminate throughout the house. So,
Can you see if you can square it off? After you found out what it was,
could possibly.
it does feel solid.
It does feel so. It's a shame, cause all the tiles in great shape, it's just ugly.
What do you think the idea was with the two kitchens?
I mean, I've been told that a lot of Asian families like cooking.
So, well, that's the original, it looks like, unless you used to. This is the original? Serious?
Ah,
Okay, maybe it was too small for them, but then they kept this up here.
I wondered if there wasn't a catering business at some point.
So there's something like that. I think
Possibly.
one of the decisions I would make on this was just get rid of one of the kitchens. What's your thoughts on that?
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
I want to do it with everybody, so I'm not repeating it.
Trying to figure out which one of these, yeah.
But take a look around outside, because there's some unique things outside as well.
Also, Tim, I've got the premium thing, so the premium website, so you're gonna go through that also with this?
Yep.
All right.
I didn't say it, but yeah, I want you to, if you want to do it, go through and use it to put together your estimate if you want to.
Yeah, I appreciate you giving us the numbers that you're gonna be using. I haven't done a rehab in years, so.
Yeah,
That's good.
well, trust me, they change, it's almost
Yeah.
like it's not worth having numbers, because next week, next month, it changes again, so.
Okay. All right, so you see that, you have the two different kitchens here, so that's, first house is this kind of size. So we got
I think that Hanley house you called me on, I think it's under contract already.
Are you kidding? Wow.
I was told that one of the other investors that was interested in it called, he just told me that it's under contract. They had, when I talked to the short sale service last, they had 30 agents waiting to see it. So,
I don't think
Oh, wow. Time is money, huh?
Oh, yeah. This is a 3-3, correct? Cause you got 1, 2, 3. You don't count that bad one? You got the one off the hallway.
well,
bathroom.
yeah, you're right, 2.5. And our water heater? Huh?
Oh, they moved it?
It's right behind that door.
Cause that's not what it used to be.
Yeah, I can't, I think the AC should be there.
Yeah.
I think you're
Yeah, and I played a 4 Oakers tile.
They put the one new water heater in, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. Even then, you know, remove the tile gets expensive. Yeah.
This is really interesting.
But, like what she said too, if that transition doesn't work out. This is a small bit.
Tim, do you know what was here?
I do. They had a big turntable, type of thing that they had a TV and some knickknacks and stuff on.
Kind of built in.
And she insisted on taking it. But yet they left the top piece.
Like a lazy Susan on an entertainment.
Yeah,
center.
yeah, it really was. I probably have a picture of it, it really was.
I thought it was something for a cat, like, you know.
Well,
No.
yeah, there was, you can tell
Now,
it built in.
had they had a cat, it might have been.
Right.
The cat might have been all over it.
It's definitely got an interesting layout. It's unique, for sure.
So they
As it sits currently.
looks like they converted the garage into an office.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a classroom. It was being actually used as a classroom.
Okay, but it was a garage at one point?
Yes. Yeah, it was side entrance.
Okay.
So the garage area out here was being used for computer classes. I was told that the man of the house, he worked for the government doing IT stuff or something, and then he started teaching computer classes. So he enclosed this and had it set up. Did anybody by chance lift that table?
No.
Oh my God. That's solid wood. I'll have to bring a chainsaw to cut it up. It is heavy. But anyhow, so there's outlets everywhere out here. And of course, all those cabinets and stuff was for part of that as well. So what's everybody thought? Would you rent this house, or would you flip it, or what? Or would you sell it like it is?
I would not sell it like it is. Two kitchen thing would deter a lot of people unless they're gonna try to do business out of it.
It certainly narrows down your potential buyers with two kitchens.
Talk about changing to, I would think, like we were just talking about John, making a dining room instead.
Leave the kitchen back there, I'd get rid of the one in front.
What would you do with it then?
Get rid of the wall, gut it out, make this one big solid room. That way you could have your dining room right here, still have your entertainment center right there. The only thing that messes it up is that curved floor.
First day in here, I almost broke my neck on that.
The only other thing you could do is possibly just float it up.
Okay.
Another.
Man, they're at your own risk.
The only thing I think about maybe float it through this whole area so it at least levels it out, but it'd make it be a little weird walking into the other
Well,
rooms.
like that room, it would make the door too short, because look at the overhang and the hall, you can't raise that door.
Yep, you're right.
What's your name?
Mark,
If I bought this at the right price, I'd end up wholesaling it at where I'm at.
So,
Love updating.
so my opinion, two things that caution me on renting. One, that kitchen. That worries me that it may attract a business in here as a rental that I don't want being operated out of the wrong property.
Or two families.
Or two families that you don't want, okay? Second thing is this step. It's a safety hazard to me. I'm always trying to think about safety issues, you know. I replace driveways, you know, you see how concrete cracks and it settles and it's a trip hazard, or a sidewalk that'll be uneven as a major trip hazard. I replace that stuff if I'm gonna rent it. Even if I'm gonna sell it, a lot of times I won't leave it. So I'm always worried about the safety factor. So anybody that would rent the house like it is?
Not like this.
No.
Okay. So it would be pretty easy to rent though, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
What's in the
livable.
kitchen?
Aside from the kitchen,
That's livable.
it would take very little to fix this house to make it rentable. Aside from that kitchen area.
Would you tear out one of the two, or just keep it as is?
Say it again.
Would you keep it as is, or would you get rid of one?
Is the round?
Yes.
Oh, I wouldn't do much to it. I've had the roof inspected, I got a couple repairs I gotta do there.
He's saying, would you eliminate the second kitchen if you kept it as a room?
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, when I first came into the deal, I thought, I might just rent it like it is, but the more I think about that, I think that may invite somebody I don't want here. Or somebody to do something that I don't want, like have another family here. Okay? That's just me. There is quite, even if I did rent the house, I would definitely fix some of that boogered up stuff in the back, that overhang and that
Yes.
add-on and stuff, cause that's in pretty bad shape out there. So I would,
I'd tear it
Would
down.
you get rid of it, or?
yeah, oh yeah, that's what I mean.
Driveway
I would
drive,
take that down,
yeah.
fix that.
Would you put something, what would you put in its place, or would you put anything in its place, or would you just tear it down?
Just tear it down.
See,
Tear it down.
Take it back to where it should be.
Get rid of all that fencing, that garden and all that, let people make
You got all that rotten wood there, you know. Unfortunately, you got that, put that concrete slab in there, you know, it's got that big crack. I'm pretty sure that's a DIY thing, you
Yeah,
know.
that's what they did themselves.
Probably no rebar in it. I would go through and replace some of the lights and fans and stuff like that, but, other than that, there's not a whole lot I would do. Now, I might have to change this antique microwave. 1967, and it still works.
They made it the last back in those days, right?
It's like a dip a little bit at the sink,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, I might upgrade countertops, you know, to rent it, but there's not a whole lot of it. I would paint the whole house, brighten it up. Service the AC unit, they boogered this up, I think this was a DIY project too, because I'm pretty sure that used to be out here in the garage. So they cut holes in the bottom of the closets, you know, for cold air return and stuff like that, you know. Surprisingly, did you notice the 2 bathrooms back here? See how good shape the tile was in? You can't find that in a 5-year-old house. So, what else? What else will we do? Take down that shelf unit over the windows?
Clean out the back bedrooms, make them all, yeah. I take them, just make them all 4 walls, you know, just not gut them, but get rid of all the non-necessities that makes the, you got shelves in that one, shelves in the other, over the short window.
As a rental, I would leave those shelves in this front bedroom,
Really?
just as a rental. They're pretty solid. That's just me. I mean, if they were rickety, I would
Okay.
take them down.
If
The
you
ones,
had them wide, it would be better.
yeah, the ones in the back room, in that corner bedroom, I would definitely take that thing down. You know, there's a couple, I got a hinge up here that's either, the board's either broke or the screw's been pulled out, the door's sagging. But I would definitely paint all that stuff, maybe update the backsplash if you're gonna do the countertops. I can't, please don't use the restrooms, I got water problems, so the water shut off. But I can't check the faucets to see if they drip or anything like that, but if that stuff's bad, I'd replace all that before renting.
Do you know what the pipes are here? Are they still galvanized or are they?
I don't know.
Okay.
The roof looked pretty
60
good.
house?
Huh?
60s?
80,
This was built in the 80s?
yeah,
Pipes
1980.
not that galvanized.
On this little corner here on the roof, I mean, it looks really good, but then it looks like they were patching up that corner. Do you know if there's any issues? Looks like maybe a leak.
I had I don't know of a leak, but I did have my roofer in and inspected it. He said there's a couple places that need to be taken care of. I would take the satellite dishes off, you know, and patch those. But the roof's about 10 years old.
What is it? Wow.
Looks pretty good.
What about windows?
I would leave them alone. I know what you'd like to do.
Yeah, for rental.
Well,
yeah.
for rental, leave them alone.
Except
Is there broken ones?
they're not broken, but if you go look at them like this kitchen window,
Gotcha.
they took tape and it must have been airflow leak, and they taped all around the edges on the drywall, on the frame, and on the windows, and all that sticky stuff sticks to it. You're gonna have a hard time cleaning that mess off. I wouldn't touch them if for a rental otherwise. You're talking about $2,000 for the few windows that are in here. I wouldn't touch these windows back here because these were, you know, they're double pane replacement windows to start with. But the rest of those windows are single pane windows. What about for a flip? What would we do?
Everything.
Maybe
A lot of things. I'd paint the brick all around. I like the house across the street looks, you know, the cedar shutters, the fresh paint, just kind of modernize it.
Or to move back to a garage, so we had put that back into a garage.
Yeah, mixed feelings on that. I might not.
they already patched put a driveway in there, right, for the carport?
Yeah.
So.
But the problem with doing that is you also more likely have to tear down the carport too. The posts are probably in the way. Have to look at that close.
Was it permitted or was it just a DIY?
I have no idea.
If you bought it at a good price, it would be a good rental, because it's a good area,
Yeah.
but for flipping it,
So with regards to paint the brick, if you, when you leave here, drive down to the end back, it's a dead end. But it seems, I don't know if it's something in the water or if it's the same rehabber that's going through the neighborhood, but he's painted them all white brick. So if I painted brick, I like brick, painted brick, but I wouldn't do white.
Yeah.
brick looks pretty good on this one.
Huh?
Brick looks pretty good on
Brick,
this
the
one.
brick does look pretty.
I didn't see any foundation cracks,
No.
anything like that. It
Little
seems
power
like
wash
it's a very
freshening up,
solid
that's about it.
foundation.
Yeah, I'm not to me, the roof, the trim and the brick blend in too much. I like to have a little more pop to it, but it's
Change
fine.
more
I
of the
mean, it's
trim.
not bad. It's not bad. If you had to redo all the fascia or something, and repaint everything, that'd be one thing to change color. But the roof color, and I might change roof color if it had to have a new roof. And I would definitely put a 30-year shingle on it too. I don't know,
Would you keep the popcorn if you flipped it?
usually I scrape them.
Yeah.
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 That's the money saved. A lot of houses are not scraping them anymore.
So I've seen it go both ways.
I'm just saying, usually I do.
Yeah, you don't-
This one's in excellent condition except for one spot by
It's
the
like
side.
$2 a square foot.
The
It's all
other
finish
disadvantage,
on.
right, we don't know what it was bought for and what the ARB at this time is, so it's hard to say exactly.
What are you seeing in the listings?
I didn't look.
No, what do you see for popcorn?
Oh,
Do buyers,
It's gone primarily, I've seen.
I've seen both.
I'd
Depends on the
say
neighborhood.
like 70, if it's a flip, 75% of the time it's gone, but 25% of the time it's not, so.
yeah,
Buyers aren't really caring as long as the thing looks nice.
yep,
I mean, if you get it cheap enough, I'd say do it.
yeah. No, I would agree with that. But this is in pretty good shape though.
Yeah, it
As
is.
old as it is.
No stains,
No,
doesn't
it's
look like
in-
any
it's in good shape.
splotches.
What about fireplace? Would you paint it?
Yes.
No hesitation there, huh?
Have you verified that it's in good working condition?
Not yet.
I think a lot wash would look nice on it, a little bit of water coming through.
I mean, I like their mechanical way of closing it.
Yeah.
5 pound weight. On the backside of it, there's an angle bracket with a 5 pound weight on it. It holds up.
Close the phone.
I love the fireplace,
That's a fun.
the look of it, the style of it. So, anybody else got some thoughts on what they would do if they were flipping this?
What would you do? Would you keep the overhead here, the doors?
So Lisa and I were talking about that earlier. So I haven't been, my first thought was take the whole thing down. Just because, you're standing back here, it's blocking, it just absorbs so much of light. Of course, it's dark wood, right? You could paint it white and that would totally change the look. If I didn't take it down, I would absolutely chop it right here and get rid of this piece. Now you could do those little wine glass hooks on the bottom of this thing, and dress it up like that.
So you keep, if you did it as a flip, you keep your kitchen up front instead of leaving it in the back?
I think so. I haven't
Yeah.
made any decisions,
More
but I
space.
think that's what I would do. I think I
I
would,
think the biggest problem is this,
Yeah.
because if that is cement and you got the plumbing already raised, that could be a nightmare if you tried to flip. But initially when I walked in the house, that's what I thought, kitchen should be back there. But
It's just this floor.
that whole thing is a problem. And it could be poured that way, it could be solid cement, most likely.
yep.
I
I
would do
mean,
something with those two
it
doors.
just feels like it does
Yeah.
not feel
Yeah,
like
it feels
it's.
solid. I would do something with those two doors because it's too much.
What, do something
Those
about
two
what?
doors, take one of the doors out.
Both doors?
Take one of them out. The problem to me with the kitchen this way is there's a lot of wasted space between that door opening and there.
Yeah. You
I
gotta do
think
that
there's a
door,
lot of square
door.
foot kind of lost. You could make the garage door go into the laundry room and then come through that way. I know ideally most people like to come down the kitchen, but
But you're right, if you close that off, you can put more cabinets and stuff like that, get more space there.
I would
You
move the
already
whole
have a
island
door going to
in,
Going to the garage through here.
Yeah,
So,
and I would
So-
close out that door, maybe move the whole island in and give you more living area.
So moving the whole island in also depends on if that's concrete all the way down around there, which I think it
I'm
is.
sure it is.
Just because of the way it's shaped.
Cabinet solid there.
I would, you know, I would convert, if we were gonna flip it, I would convert the garage back, cause there's a ton of value for having a garage.
a lot of people are especially.
I would not, if you were gonna sell it, flip it, I wouldn't keep the convert garage.
I don't know.
Storm system being-
There's pros and cons to that.
Yeah, I get it,
What
you're
did
gonna
most
spend some
neighborhoods
money
have?
on
Do they have a
demo.
two-car garage in the rest of the houses? I didn't look at that. I was
It's a
looking at-
mixed bag. I mean,
Still.
there's like 4 or 5 with no garage.
Cause the only value bring would be about $5,000, but there you've got, what is that, like 150 square foot, so maybe 7,500
Oh,
as a
it's more than
fixed-
that.
Yeah,
2-car garage is what, 400?
no, I'd leave it. If that, the others neighbors don't have it, I'd leave it.
If that
Because
was,
you would get just as much for the square footage as the conversion for the garage, and you already got a carport there.
that'd be part of my worry is trying to leave or take down the carport if those posts are mounted in the concrete drive out there. And would it look funny having that carport if you could leave it? I don't know. But the other thing is if you finished off this room as a entertainment room, game room, something like that, that may be a big draw if you marketed it correctly.
Well, if you left that door there, I mean, think about how many people are working from home now.
Right.
I mean, that also
Absolutely.
could still be an office. You got a bathroom there.
Yep. You got outside access, you got a
I mean,
bathroom. You
that
got
could
a
be an
lot of room.
Airbnb rental. If you could put a shower or whatever on the other side of that bathroom, that could be a possible master bedroom.
That's fine, that's good.
Because that master bedroom right there is tiny.
It is tiny.
But I think leaving it gives whoever's buying it or renting more options.
Yeah, I mean, you could even, you know, that current bathroom is so small that you could maybe bring that out this way, put a shower in.
Could you go this way toward the washer and dryer? Cause it looks like it's got room toward the washer and dryer.
Maybe.
Like put a bathtub on this side.
That's gonna cut your laundry room down pretty small.
The washer and dryer would just be where the cabinets are, you know? We had that room for bathtub here. Or shower. Yeah.
But again, the other thing that plays into the budget is,
Yep.
there's a lot you could do depending on what your budget is.
Yep.
But advertising as a 4-bedroom, you'd also have different comps than a 3-bedroom.
And I have not checked that to see what.
Because if you did do a tub in here, make it 3 full baths. I mean, this would be a good mother, if you made that a bathtub, mother-in-law suite, Airbnb, office.
Well, there's a lot of room to add that. A lot of room. Actually, you could add the 4th bedroom and still have an office. Just have to design it right. So what's everybody's thoughts on the kitchen area? How would you finish that off?
This kitchen?
No, that kitchen. This kitchen, I think, is pretty straightforward. You know, I don't know that I don't know enough yet to say I would replace cabinets, but I would redoor them. Put all new doors on, new granite, new plumbing,
Is it
new
solid?
appliances.
Definitely gotta get rid of your paneling, probably put a couple windows in the back, I don't know how you mark it. Because, once you get rid of that porch stuff all around it, that's gonna change everything. Because the way, I mean, if you put a window now, you're just looking into a gray area, once you get rid of that porch, you're gonna want to be able to look out the back room. You can't do anything to expand these, because you got this brick walls, you looked at that already, so this is your opening.
Yep.
Because if you could push it open a little bit more, you can make this one fluid room.
If you,
I'll just get rid of it, get rid of this kitchen right here, and leave it for, living space, you know,
Convert it.
They would just leave the living space, make a prom line.
Yeah.
Dining room,
Study or that.
Really, that's
Yeah.
the idea, obviously.
What would you do with that window,
which window?
that kitchen window?
You possibly leave it there.
Leave it, yeah, just leave it.
I would think, well, I put correct size in, move correct. Once you get it out there, you'll see how small it
I
is.
think
You'll
it's gonna
wanna
look kinda awkward.
Right. It's
Put-
a small
put-
window above the sink.
Put the same size window as this side,
Right.
same thing. And I think it would be kinda awkward with that window, because it is a restricted cabinets away.
It'll stand out like
It
this.
doesn't look as bad. I mean, it doesn't look that small.
I think you'll see a difference, though, when you take all the cabinets out,
So you can
just
take
the
out the
window at
closets.
that height.
Yeah, that's it, I mean, you have to get floor in there.
Yeah, it's just kinda weird, this is up higher, you know? That's the one. Yeah, I would definitely, I would agree. Get down and push that.
It could be a formal dining room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it
I
wants
mean, if you
to be.
did push that back and, you know, just made a square island, you would end up having enough room here for a table.
But you can't get trunks on there, it'll be nightmare to truck shit like that.
Yeah. That's pretty solid. But I almost suspect that concrete's poured that same way. all
At
the
that
way.
angle.
Well, I like it. We put the stuff over there.
If we take out that lot and put a eyeball up there, recessed lot.
I think it's gonna overcast a lot of your attention. over-
Probably don't
Discover
really-
what's already there.
Huh?
You can discover what's already there.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want another ceiling fan here, not with that AC up there.
Yeah. But it doesn't have a full.
Where would your dining room be?
The problem is, that's gonna be your garage entrance, you know, that's a path there. So that would be ideal for a table.
I think the dining room is there.
I like the system.
I think that's the best choice, is put the dining room back there.
Nice and bright, put the wheel back, change the other one to be the same size, so it all looks the same. Just bring it back to the four walls.
So, hall bathroom, not much you can do there, right? Just update everything. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, rehab. How about the master bedroom?
It's tiny.
Very tiny. The only thing I would consider is it has two small closets that aren't connected. I would take that divider out between the two, make it one big closet.
If you were gonna keep this, if you were gonna keep the converted garage, you could make that your master and make it a phenomenal master bath. And have, you know, that just be the whole, yeah.
But you're talking a lot more money.
Sure, if you have to say, if you were gonna keep the converted.
So what about the master bathroom? Back here in the corner. It's awful tiny, right?
That's a tiny shower, I was gonna say that's a tiny shower, in fact, they did that one in the seventies, not the eighties.
It's impossible.
They were still doing the seventies.
Obviously.
So the only thing I could think of to do to improve that master is to take that cabinet out to the right of the shower, and just make that full shower, full width of the room. You lose a little bit of, you know, towel and washcloth storage space there, but you could actually double that shower size by doing that practically.
You know, you really get into serious bid wars when you invest in those master baths.
Oh, yeah.
That's, yeah.
But, I mean, that shower, if you go, you probably can't get in that shower very easy. You probably, did you try it?
No, that is pretty small.
It is pretty small. I mean, you have to kind of turn sideways to. Yeah, go try it, just for giggles.
That's a good idea, though, take that out and then widen it out.
Everybody I've ever showed a house with that size shower in, they're like,
I don't doubt that.
because they felt too claustrophobic, even if they're not big,
Now, this owner was from Thailand,
they were tiny.
tiny. Didn't bother her in the least,
Do you replace all the doors inside?
usually.
Okay, that's what I would do.
I replace front and back door, all the exterior doors usually.
Couldn't the interior doors just be painted?
Huh?
Couldn't the interior
I was
doors
gonna say,
just
I don't
be
think
painted?
well, that should be according to shouldn't that one, if you leave that, be a steel door, since it's going out in the garage, or since that's
It's not a garage.
It's not a garage.
That's what I'm saying, since it's not a
It's not
garage,
a garage. Matter of fact, I almost would think about taking that door right off.
long it off.
Maybe even opening that opening or closing it off. But I'm not sure what people are gonna think having to come all the way to here and around to get to the kitchen.
I don't think that'd be an issue. Don't really, 'cause, I mean, once you see the cabinetry, they wouldn't, and they didn't know it was there, I don't think they'd need to. Cause usually you get to your garage, you only have one way to go anyway.
Yeah. The other thing is that front door, the side lights, they're just plexiglass.
Yeah, Mark.
And unfortunately, that's a lot of wasted space right there before you, square
Absolutely.
foot.
Absolutely.
But there's nothing to do about that with the kitchen.
Should we leave the mirror on the ceiling?
Oh, of course, yeah. Helps reflect the light and make it brighter.
So, again, I'm a big believer in first impressions. So, I want that front door, that front porch entrance area to sparkle and be like new. I would have new door, I wouldn't have a storm door. I'd have new skylight windows next to it, sidelight windows. I'd have a new front porch light, and all of it would be clean. When I go buy a new door, I expect it to be a new door, not dented and stuff. I've had contractors try and go buy the new door that was either damaged when they bought it, or they damaged it in the process and put it in there, and the dents show up, you know? I don't accept that, so just be on the lookout for that.
You know, I retract my recommendation on converting the garage, that master bath and that bedroom and the closets are all insufficient in terms of size. I mean, that's really,
It's what
seems
a
like
10 by
what you
10
really
room,
wanna
yeah.
do is make that your
The
master
master,
suite.
that's what I think.
And really make your master bath, cause you just don't have the space back there.
And then the 4-bedroom advertising would be,
And then you gained another.
and you've got enough room to make a big closet too.
You do.
Huge,
Make that your dining
wonderful
room.
walk-in closet.
You know?
By the way, if anybody wants that big table out there, you can take it.
That's totally.
It'll burn for 6 months.
It's all there.
But anyhow, there's not much we can do with this.
This is actually really spacious though, you know, a lot of times you walk in and they're so narrow and your entries are
And
confined.
it's dark.
It's actually got a lot of space to work with there.
I think once you remove the coverings on the sides, that's gonna brighten it up
Oh, yeah.
and make it more attractive. Yeah, I agree with her, it's a lot of lost space,
Mhm.
but
You could put a table there,
Oh,
entry
yeah.
table.
But that's about it. I mean, it's not much use for the rest of it.
Nice tall tree, you know, drop zone.
Coat rack or something.
Yeah, drop zone for the coats and shoes kind of thing. I don't, you know, so you don't know none of the numbers yet. You don't know the ARV yet, you don't know the rental
or
numbers.
he's just not telling us.
So, John, what did we come up with on the rental?
Yeah,
$17.95?
it had a $2,000 rent value, I thought minus the 2 kitchens, but if you were to keep the 2 kitchens, cause I kinda gave you comps per both, right? Keeping the 2 kitchens, I thought you could get about $1,750. It had a days on market of about 9 days around here, so the market.
What's the
booming
square
around
footage?
here. They don't
How
stay
did
the
you,
same.
when you did those comps, you do it with the garage or without a garage?
No, so I just compared the, you know what, I compared the tax square footage, and I don't know if that accounted for the converted garage.
Depends on where you're looking.
I'd have to look at that, Roger.
It's either
It's been
14
it's been a month or so since I've run
Cause
those.
my first house I had, they converted the garage over and we left it. That was a big deterrence because the whole neighborhood had garages. And that was the biggest thing people were complaining about. If it had a garage, I'd buy it. If it had a garage, I'd
Right.
buy it.
Right.
And there's a mixed bag on this street.
Is it?
Yeah, if that's the case.
Matter of fact, that one's got a garage, but I think it's the next 2, no garage, and there's one coming on the market in the next 30 days on down.
Now, when you say no
further.
garage, were they built without a garage or were they converted?
Convert.
You know, though, that's a good conversion though. That's a solid conversion. And you've seen rinky dink conversions. That's one you can actually work with there.
There's many of them I would remove.
Right, just hazardous, right, yeah. And I'm with you too, Tim, I mean, from a liability aspect, that's what I always walk in, it's the first thing I'm looking for is liability, you know? I mean, I don't know if this step per se, in my opinion, would fall so much as a liability, just because they're just so prevalent in homes, but, you know, if you were gonna keep it as a rental, man, you wouldn't wanna go to the degree financially
Yeah.
that it really needs, I think.
So I think from a 3-bedroom, our perspective, it could probably be up in the 3.25 range. But that's doing some stuff.
So the public records, it does say 1994 square feet, but it also says 3-bedroom, 1 bath. This is 3-bedroom, 2.5 baths.
Yeah, see, I went off the tax rolls, and I don't think they're right
Yeah.
after looking at this house at all.
One place does say 14-something square foot.
That
Yeah,
was probably the,
I can't remember where I saw it, but it does say it. But, you know, the other thing it has going for it is it's got a big lot.
It's a
Oh,
huge
huge
lot.
lot.
.48.
that's a good lot.
So, you know, it's a nice sized lot. Huge pecan tree ought to be worth something.
Yeah. Especially come fall pine making time.
Pecan pie is my favorite.
You know what, I just think it's a solid house, you know, the foundation wise, I mean, it's just cosmetic, but it's, I don't think, you know, outside of some of your plumbing, maybe you've got, hopefully you don't, but man, as far as the foundation, it seems like a very solid house.
I don't think there's any plumbing issues. The hot water faucet in the laundry room won't shut off. It drips, so I had to turn the water off. So.
This is a newer, HVAC, I mean, your big ticket items really
Right.
are, your roof is good,
Yeah,
foundation's
the
solid, AC's new. I mean,
HVAC's 4 years old.
You've got, there's a lot of good stuff going on around here, just cosmetic, what I see.
So like I did with Metal Brick, I'll be doing progress videos, walking through periodically and doing a video and posting it on YouTube channel, so you get to see the progress as we move forward, so.
So I presume you are gonna be flipping it?
That's what I'm leaning towards. I came into it originally as a rental, you know, thinking rental, but the more I thought about that kitchen, I don't think I wanna do that.
And I think that too, that just invites, you know, like right now, I've got several rentals up, and I'm seeing a lot of prospects that are coming from the hurricane. You know, and they don't have any employment history, you know, and you get in a situation like that, you could have a tenant, and I see it a lot where they'll sublease, you know, and all that happens and you have no idea, right?
Yep.
And this really invites that.
So why wouldn't you rent this, but then just rehab the whole back of that? Just go ahead, gut that, put the walls. and
Say again?
stuff. Why wouldn't you go ahead and do the rental portion, leave the rest of the house with the small minor updates and go ahead and tear that out and leave it as a rental? Those are the numbers.
I mean, that's just demo.
Yeah, that's
And
demo.
that other's demo.
Sheetrock and a window.
You know, and
maybe
sheetrock,
two.
like you said, I would do that.
It certainly could do it.
What was your acquisition on this?
Too much. I paid, $190. I got sucked into an emotional deal. The seller was ill health, had to go back to, go move in with her sister, and I'm trying to help a friend. My barber's the one that referred me this lead, so it was an easy deal. It's in my IRA, so I don't have any outgoing debt on it, makes it a little easier cash flow. But,
If you rehab it, what's your estimated repair cost?
I think my last number was around 60.
60. So that's
Now-
still pretty good.
The 60 did not include undoing this mess on the back corner of the house.
I'm afraid that might put you too close to ARV.
Doing that?
I mean, the 65,000 in repairs.
Well, your
but the
ARV is
one on the
pretty-
Well, yeah, I
acquisition.
mean, the numbers are not good on it.
I'd
I'm
be
just being honest with you, I'm
tempted
not trying to BS you,
to hold it as a
so.
rental.
Huh?
I'd be tempted to hold it as a rental.
Did you say your RV is 325?
I think it's about 3.25.
Okay, so 190, 60.
You know,
That might be high.
Depends on, it might be, but, you know, the quality of our rehabs have always got us, the the very high side and above what the normal art is. Now, the other thing is what do I do for sure with bathrooms? You know, we're gonna make a third bathroom, or we're gonna make a fourth bedroom? I'm gonna go back and look at the art.
Well, if you leave it as a rental, just leave it the way it is.
Huh?
If it's a rental.
Oh, right,
Just
no, I
don't
agree.
touch.
But I'm talking about if I flip it, then what is it gonna do?
Yeah, eventually you're gonna have to sell it, right, even if you keep it as a rental, so it's probably a good idea to go in
I
the
don't,
way you want it.
I
and
don't
then
ever
you
have to sell
you have
it.
to fall back to the.
You just go into the estate, you know, but.
I
Well,
would
it depends on your owners too.
look at the 4-bedroom,
If
3
it's from the
bath
house or-
Yeah.
ARV, because that might put you up over 300. I mean, I haven't pulled in comps, but I would kinda guess maybe more in the 300 range, but if it's a 4-bedroom, 3 bath, that would definitely get you up there.
Yeah.
I think you're probably very close with your 325, given if you went to the degree on your make ready, like your Meadowbrook, cause I saw that in our book, it was a top-notch job.
I'm telling you, that house,
This school
And that-
district,
that's-
Burleson School District, you know.
Just
this
Burleson in
lot,
general,
yeah, I mean,
compared to
you really-
Meadowbrook?
You're kind of on the, you're on the fringe, you know, of the Mecca DFW, right? A lot of it's developing, moving out to Joshua, but that's where we're at here, so.
okay, so this is a test, before I forget this. To flip. I've said this before to some of you. What else would you do to this house? And we have several already down the street that have been remodeled and sold. I haven't been in them. But if you were thinking about, you wanna stand out and be different than everybody else, what else would you do to this house? Details now.
Get rid of the popcorn, get rid of the second kitchen, put in your dining, update everything, kitchen, master.
We do.
That idea was pretty good. I would consider that about converting this to a master bedroom.
Okay. What else? We talked about those, what else?
And then you got your master bath over here.
Little details.
Did we talk about the granite, the backsplash,
We didn't, but well, I think I mentioned it early on, I always do that on flip.
refacing the cabinets, if they're in good shape,
So back to, this could be an extra granted if you keep the curve.
Yep.
Extra cost.
This is, turns out I've had one measurement, this is 10 foot square in order to capture, you know,
The curve.
that's.
so it's probably 2 pieces of slab and a lot of moolah,
Yeah.
okay? So, the details I was talking about is baseboards and crown molding. Roger knew I was gonna say that. So, it is one of the things that I do in every house, if I'm flipping,
You gonna do 4-inch baseboards here too?
5.
5, sorry.
I do a 5-inch baseboard, without exception on my flips. And then I do crown in the rooms that make sense, usually the main living area and sometimes the master.
You wouldn't do the other 2 bedrooms?
Usually don't do bedrooms,
Good.
except the master. So,
New windows and doors.
absolutely,
Yeah.
always on a flip.
I don't think I'd do crown in this house.
No?
I wouldn't master.
Yeah, if
To
you
make
made
it
that the
more
master.
staff-
sure.
I mean, if you make that the master, I
Yeah,
would definitely
sure.
crown it there.
But like in here,
Now, when's the last time you went and see how much your windows are, how the lead time? I had a guy over at my house, he told me 16 weeks right now.
Yep.
Mm. Jeez.
I'm selling a house in Saginaw that
4 months.
I have 2 bad windows in it, and I was trying to get the cost of replacement windows. And they're saying $500 a piece, which is $150 more than my last house, and they're 12 to 16 weeks backlog. So if I rent and decide I want windows, I just have to rent it and then replace windows when I
as
get them.
needed, yeah.
But as a flip, I'd have to make sure that they ordered them immediately, because I mean, that's gonna be a problem on a flip, right? If I'm being restricted on when I can sell, just because of the back order of windows.
I've got a rental house in DeSoto that my clients have ordered new windows for that house, and it's 2 months out, but they're gonna be installed that same day. I was guaranteed that by the company to not rock the boat with that tenant, so that house will get all new windows and be cash flowing and not having to wait for that delay. So even if you start thinking about some of those delays, right, even if you rented it a year or 2, got some cash flow moving on it,
That's
generate
what
a
I'm
little bit more
thinking.
equity, and then if you were able to facilitate doing like replacing windows while you've got tenants in place, if you could meander that.
I have no problem with tenants
Sure.
replacing them later. It's the flip that worries me. Matter of fact, my metal brick house, contractor waited too long thinking that all is good, you know, with ordering windows. Well, then the freeze hit, right, February, and he didn't realize that there was a backlog and stuff, and now it's gotten even worse. But we were actually waiting to finish that house because of windows. But anyhow, baseboard and crown, look at it, you don't have to do it, but it's one of those things to me, and I look at all the door casing moldings and stuff, make sure that stuff's not beat up. It drives me crazy to walk into a rehabbed house and see moldings all beat up, and of course, it drives me crazy that builders put this little,
2.5 inch.
yeah, as baseboard. I mean, it looks crappy. You know, it looks cheap.
The details look really good.
I would like the baseboards, but you know, the way that the entry is and all that, I think that the crown molding might bring the ceiling down too much. Especially since you've got a hot, you know, you're already raised there. I think visually it might bring it down. Appraisal wise, it's not gonna give you any change on the appraisal numbers.
Yeah, but call me crazy, but I'm not after just appraisal amount. I want the wow factor. I want people to fall in love with the house and make the offer. I mean, Meadowbrook, we had 55 showings and 22 offers in 2 days.
Wow.
I mean, yes, it's a crazy market out there. Did any of the cool things
It
that I
is
did?
calming a little.
Huh?
It is calming a little.
Yeah,
That's
That's
why
right.
school just started and everything else, but.
yep. But, you know, it's just one of those things, it's kind of like one of my signatures, you know, I like to do those little details. I like the wow factor, and that doesn't mean you have to do it, doesn't mean it's gonna impact your sale. I just wanna make sure that I can do everything I can to make them as nice as possible so that they do sell fast.
From a rental perspective, have you pegged a rehab cost on it if you were to keep it as a rental?
I'm working on that.
Yeah.
Contractors here Friday trying to get numbers for both options,
Sure.
flip and run.
And it's rental, you mostly just have some demo and paint floor, paint carpet.
Yeah.
I
Just
mean, paint can go a long way.
I'll check everything, make sure it all works.
Yeah.
Get the couple little roof, things taken care of.
The more I look at that front window, it's that.
You don't like the tape?
That's not, well, I mean, it's just a cheap aluminum, and that's,
Yeah.
you know, in the front of the house, and that's where someone's gonna be standing a lot,
lot.
looking out.
Yep.
Especially being, you gotta walk by the front door by it, you know?
Yep. No, I agree. Those kind of things, make a difference to me.
I think it's a solid house, Tim.
Me too.
I mean, you could rent it out for a couple of years and then come back and finish it. You know, after you get the demo, that's already a head start.
Especially a 4 month wait on windows.
And
That's
then-
what it is.
I mean,
Yeah, I
construction
mean,
cost is
that-
still really high right now.
That's an idea too, is rent it for a year or two. Get the windows ordered at some point so that I have them. And whether I put them in while there's renters in it or put them in, as part of a flip after the tenants move out, it's another option too.
The renter, the
That's
tenants
a good
I
idea,
have,
actually.
the tenants I have are actually very excited. They don't feel like it's gonna be an inconvenience because I told them, I said, guys, you're gonna have the deal is that this house is like 2,000 square foot and it's, you know, the windows are original and they're fogged up. So I said, you're gonna see the yard a lot better and you're gonna get better utility bills. Oh, that sounds great. And then the owner's getting it on their time.
Have any of you ever changed windows in your own personal house?
Yes.
What a difference in sound. I don't know how close you are to the road.
It's true.
I bought a house that was built in '99, so it wasn't even old. I moved in 2000. And our house doesn't sit off the road very far, but I could hear people walking up the hill and talking. And then in the wintertime, you sit by the window, you got a cold draft coming in around the window. These are just, you know, your cheap ass Home Depot metal frame aluminum windows, you know, they're just poor quality. And we went and replaced the windows and we would just go, wow, it's so quiet in here now. And of course, they have big impact on utilities, but it's well worth it now. $550 a window for an average window now is getting pretty outrageous.
In 4 weeks, or 4 months,
4 months.
Days or dollars.
that's a lot of money sitting there doing holding cost. I mean, I know this isn't your IRA, but people that do hard money, you're paying that hard money for that long.
Yep.
That's the way I'm trying to deal with hard money and private.
Like,
I
the
couldn't
numbers
say-
probably
What- what
work
is the-
it off if you had a hard money loan on
Right.
it.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't
You wouldn't pay
buy it.
190.
No, I wouldn't buy it.
I think it would make a solid rental, honestly. I think it would make a good rental.
I think that's your best bet, what she said earlier, is just rent it out for a year or two, hold on to it, and then.
I like that idea.
Do little things to it. to
Yeah,
make
because I
it
mean, if
go
you already did a
forward.
demo, you know, you're already part of the way there.
If I've already gone through and I've checked everything, fixed anything that needs it, so.
Well, even fast forward 4 months puts you in holiday, first of the year, that's
Bad time.
historically your worst time to sell anyway. You know, fast track that, so.
Unless this ends up being a 7-month project.
Right.
It wasn't bad last year.
No,
But the windows
it
are
wasn't,
fine.
but I'm just
Might
saying
be
historically,
windows.
real estate slows first of the
I mean,
year.
I think you could get it rented out in a month, couldn't you?
Well, you just said 6 days.
No, I meant for you to do the work.
Oh, get it ready?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do the make ready, be there in a month.
yeah. Or less.
For the repairs for a rental, you said we have a month time frame?
Or
Those
less.
are in high demand, I mean, I can't keep them around, honestly. Can't keep them around.
I mean, I think as a
Those
rental,
people are
this would be
struggling to buy,
really.
right?
Well, it's
Because that could
become
be
a
an
combination of, you got sellers that are selling that don't have a place to go. There's a lot of that that's happening. I've had numerous realtor friends that are like, John, you got any houses for my client? I think I know a place to go. And then you've got a lot of relocated folks, you know, from California. Our economic position is just on fire, so
They're waiting for the house to be.
there's a lot of people
And
that
if you
need,
did a
need
short-term
new bigger
contract,
jobs.
you could do 23, 24, 2,500. Because I'm like him, I'm getting a lot of calls, people, they just need something for 4 months. You
Yeah.
know, their house is being built,
Yeah.
or they had to
Yeah,
sell
but they're
first.
waiting on windows too. I heard that's true. Builders are on back order, you know, back order for windows. Houses are being held up because of windows. I don't understand it other than,
Well, it's all the parts.
yeah.
One in my air conditioner it took him a week. Well, 5 days after we got there and zeroed in, but it took 5 more days after that because he said the parts stores don't have all the parts because of COVID, and so they had to order it, wait 2 days for it to come in. And he said that's the problem with ACs now, but I'm hearing that from all
He did, yeah.
construction people, that there's problems because of COVID.
Manufacturing issues.
Yeah.
Transportation,
Mhm.
people don't wanna work.
That too.
Okay. Well, was this worth coming all the way to Burleson?
Yeah, I enjoyed listening to everybody's opinions, because I think when you really listen to everybody's opinions, it really does forecast a great plan. you
I've
know?
got some good ideas, good comments.
Yeah.
I like the 1 to 2 year rental, you know, do the make ready now, get rid of the kitchen, get it ready to go, get it rented.
I mean, if you paint everything, you might just have to touch up some, you know? You wouldn't have to repaint the ceilings and all that
I
again.
don't think so. I think ceilings are good. For, you know, as a
I keep
rental.
the popcorn as a rental.
I wouldn't do it for a flip.
All day.
I won't touch the fireplace for a rental. I'll leave that. I might take the board down, but.
Yeah, take the board down, paint them out.
I also go through and remove all the old cable and telephone wiring and stuff in the house. Can't stand all the years of people
Yeah, there's a phone jack right here.
putting stuff in. When I rehab, I take out all the phone jacks. When I flip it, I don't do it for Ron, but I want it to look as close to a new house as I can when I put it on the market. Cause that's who you're really competing with. There's a lot of people that like the idea of a new house, but then they also know, a lot of people also know that there's problems, there's a lot of work with new houses. There's a lot of money involved, landscape and
Right now,
time, price. Look at the prices of new houses now. So, okay,
if you could get this rent ready in a month, you're still prime for the renters to move.
Before holidays?
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, the 1% rule, I mean, you would be there.
Are you getting a premium now with all the migrating families from south and west?
Rent values are an all-time high. Rent values and sale values always run parallel. But when it's a seller's market, it's a renter's market, it's a landlord's market. Just to kind of give you an idea, you know, I don't ever hold to what Zillow tells me, although Zillow does have algorithms that their numbers are not far from the truth. In some cases, I'm not saying all.
I was
But-
gonna say,
But what I would tell you is that it's not uncommon for me to lease a house $200 to $300 above what Zillow's rent estimate is. A couple of years ago, that was not the case. On a consistent, where
Is
I'm
that-
seeing it consistent.
Fence in good shape? The fence around the perimeter? I didn't really.
chain link.
But I mean, it's in good shape. That's why I put a dog back there.
Yeah, yeah.
Cause that's another thing.
No, I
It's a
need
big
to,
backyard.
I need to try and straighten out, level the front gates, but dog can go in there easy. Now, I'm not sure I want dog, but
Well, that's
That's
what
a
you
different
charge
story.
for rent.
that's a different story. Okay, well, anybody taking the table?
I would keep that conversion, keep the bedroom as well.
I think that's all I got, unless anybody's got anything else.
No, I appreciate the invite coming out.
Wanna keep doing these?
I like it, man. I like meeting everybody and talking real estate, man. That's-
So keep in mind, if you buy the house, we can do this for you too, if you want to, if you wanna use it as a marketing tool, or if you just wanna offer it up for training.
Well, this is something I hadn't seen every day, two full
Yeah,
kitchens,
you'll see us.
run across from each other.
When he told me about this, I thought, man.
I thought at first when you said about taking over the house,
Okay,
not like right here.
alright, so
I'm constitute kitchen.
you think that's unique? I got it, even better deal for you. You're gonna love this. Got a signed contract last night, yesterday afternoon, Weatherford. .48, so same size lot. 3 bedroom, 1 bath. You might wanna sit down. $5,000.
What?
Congratulations.
Yeah.
What shape is it in?
5,000. It's a hoarder house.
What's this smell
That's
like?
good.
Oh.
It's a hoarder property, not just the house, the
Does it
whole
need to be
property.
like
Oh,
those?
Take it all day.
We hollering everything.
So there is at least 3 buildings on the property, the house, the shop, and 2 shops. There might be a 4th, I couldn't get to it because of the overgrowth. There's tractors, lawnmowers, camping trailer, couple old motorcycles, couple old bicycles, engines, and in the big shop, the guy used to do, manufacturing and repairs for engines and machine shop type work. He has 2, I call them antique lathes, that are like 12 or 15 feet long. We're talking about humongous lathes for turning metal components and stuff. There's thousands of dollars in salvage money between copper and steel on
Is
this
it a
property.
desk?
Oh, that's what caused it. The son inherited it. He's been working on cleaning it out for 1.5 years, and he's just done. He is fed up with it. Family won't come help. They want all your help, he says, but when it's time to ask for help back, oh, my back hurts, my car's broke, you know, so on and so forth. So he's been doing it almost all by himself, so he's got stuff out of it that he wants. But the city's after him now to get it cleaned up.
What part of it?
Vine Street.
Oh.
You should have saw the email I posted.
How'd you come across it?
Huh?
How'd you come across it?
Website, my website, they found it. And you wanna talk about the easiest sale I've ever done? I mean, this one was pretty easy, cause it was a referral. and usually referrals are, you'll find are a lot easier. But this house was so easy, you know, the guy says, I'm tired of it, I'm ready to just walk away. I said, you know, I can't give you much, this place is a dump, and he said, yeah, I know. He says, something's better than nothing. So I just threw out 5,000, he said, okay.
Have you closed?
Huh?
Have you closed it?
I just got a contract yesterday. So I'm gonna try and wholesale it. I thought about just closing on it and go do the salvage on it. I mean, there's a lot of money sitting on this property. You should all have the email in your inbox from yesterday afternoon. I may not have you in there, cause
I don't know if I got one.
you're probably not in there as a buyer, so you wouldn't have seen
I think I saw it, but a lot of Vine I don't like, so.
Congrats, man, that's awesome.
it. I don't know.
That might be there, I don't like, but hey, if you fix it up,
Yeah. So it does, the house, you know, there is a house.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, there is a house, but it's kind of weird. It would take a lot of work to make it appealing. But then when you go inside, it's been vandalized, and the house, I found out more last night, it's been empty for at least 5 years. And drywall's falling off the ceilings.
on the other end of Vine, you know, the end there where there's new houses and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
It's almost to that.
Then I would scrape it.
It's
It's
almost
not
to
worth,
that.
it's not worth
Yeah.
any.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Close to Ranger Highway,
I
close
was
to
on
Ranger
that
Highway.
It's almost to that. There's a big vacant lot across the street from it. So
That's what you do on the key.
But anyhow, I'm kinda excited, but I'm not. I mean, that place is a mess. The city's after them because you got the house on the left side, and then they've got a privacy fence that goes across from the house to the property line. And then, on top of the privacy fence, he screwed on some 2x4s and some plywood to go across there to make it up so high so people couldn't see what was back there. Well, the city's after them to take that part down, because it's dangerous, for one thing. But we're walking towards the gate, he's getting his key out, getting ready to unlock it, he says, it's a junkyard back here. I just thought he was just using that term.
No, he meant.
It is a junkyard. Camping trailer, motorcycles, riding lawnmowers, car engines.
Well, for $5,000, you make the city happy, put stuff on Facebook, Craigslist, wherever, make your 5,000 back in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
For what you're describing, scrape and build on the property, don't even mess with the inside of the house.
Or offer up, you know, market it right to salvage or kind of people, you know, best price, best offer, let somebody else do all the work and see what kind of price they get. It should be awfully simple to get above $5,000.
I think so.
Cleaned up, yeah.
I mean, there is, you know, between the copper and the steel, there's a lot of money sitting on that lot.
Those lays alone, you could probably sell easily. I know you'd sit there.
He even gave me some brochures of companies that sells that stuff. He did the research, he just never got around to doing it. He just said, I'm done.
And he called you?
You're sitting there trying to figure out all these riddles.
His wife.
This housework, it's like,
I see.
even if you're paying somebody along that, you know what I mean? It's
All
just
right,
like,
any other questions?
It's just not working. Cause you're gonna run us a lot of problems.
Nothing? Let me check something. Well, I want to thank you for coming out. I did want to look at the calendar, seemed like there was something on our calendar here for,
I think on Thursday.
Yeah, a couple of days.
Yeah, there's a virtual lunch on Thursday.
oh yeah. It helps if I get Wi-Fi connection.
Any luck on an assistant?
No.
That's the ongoing saga, huh?
Does anybody have one for me?